What's going on, YouTube? OCD for CNC here. I actually said it right that time. And here is the rat rig. So I got all the motion system done. And so here is where the print head will be. So you can see here that it moves back and forth in the X and Y directions. This is a Core XY printer. So there are stepper motors back in the corner, which I'll show you in a moment. And yeah, the Core XY kinematics is kind of a strange thing, but it actually takes both of those motors back there to move in a straight line in any direction. But if only one motor runs, then the print head moves at a 45-degree angle. So you can see the belts here, and they're actually running all the way around the frame. There are pulleys in all four corners, and then the bed setup here. This is a 500 millimeter bed width, so it's actually 530 millimeters is the actual bed, and this is a PEI sheet here, so it's got a magnetic base, and then this flexible sheet will actually be the build surface. You can see the bed heater underneath there is stuck to the bottom of the bed, and this is 120 volt bed heater, so these are the wires for it there with the thermistors. And then for the Z direction, so when this printer is in its home position, the bed will be all the way up here. The print head always prints at this level up here, and then the bed drops away from it. But you can see here we've got one Z stepper motor there, and then we have two front stepper motors, one here, one over here, and they call this a kinematic bed. So there's actually some magnetic balls right here in these mounts. And so you can see here, if I rotate this stepper motor, you can see that the bed starts tilting. So yeah, it's pretty interesting setup. This is kind of one of the things that led me to the rat rig was the bed mounting system. Because the bed heats up in order to print, you can see here that this allows for expansion and contraction the way the bed is mounted. So you can lift it up right there, so it's not hard mounted, and that ball will slide on those stainless steel rods that are in there. There's actually, I don't know if I'll be able to show that off, but there's actually two stainless steel rods down in there that the ball centers on. And it's also, like I said, magnetic. It's a 6 millimeter thick aluminum plate for the build surface. And yeah, so the printer will print 500 millimeters cubed. And then, so the frame of the printer is pretty much done. Like I said, you can see here, everything runs on linear rails all the way around. Get this. So here's a linear rail on the front, and then up here on the X and Y action, there is a linear rail on the bottom side of this right here, and then there is a linear rail up here on the top of this 2020 extrusion here, which is the X gantry. So on here will be mounted the Big Tree Tech Hermit Crab tool changer. And yeah, so I'm pretty pumped to get this thing all up and rolling. So I have the electronics will all mount on this back plate here. So there's a piece of I think this was 4 millimeter acrylic, if I remember correctly. And then you can see this gap right here. All the electronics will be mounted on this acrylic plate you can see, I don't know if you guys can really see or not, but there's holes already in here for some electronics. I'm actually going to be running 2 power supplies. This is going to run off of, 120 volt for the bed heater, and then it'll actually be running on I've got the Big Tree Tech Octopus Pro motherboard, and the XY stepper, all the stepper motors, they're going to be running on 48 volts, and then everything else will be running on 24 volts. So there you go. There is the frame and motion system all done. I just asked my wife what she thought of the printer, and she said that it's large and it's on her island. And that was all she said. And I think it looks great on the island. I think it looks like it fits well. It could be a nice little home for the old rat rig.
It's in my morning spot.
So anyway, I'm gonna have to get it off the island, or I'm pretty sure she will not let me keep it if it stayed right there. But I figured I would show it to you guys before I move it. So there you go. We're going to start the wiring process and all the electronics. And once we get this thing up and running, it is going to be sweet. I'm really looking forward to it. So there you go, guys. There's the first look at the rat rig with the motion system and everything done and complete. So later on.